It's been 4 years since the second generation Fire TV came to the market, and since then, each new edition of the Fire TV has failed to precede the overall power of what this Fire TV in particular had to offer. This year, Amazon has opted to go with the second version of the FireCube TV, and so there is really one question to ask here. Does the latest model of the Fire TV finally surpass its very, very old predecessor to take the throne as the company's most powerful media player on the market to date? The specs are in, and the tail of the tape pretty much tells us the story. The new FireCube has a 6-core CPU which includes a 2.2 GHz quad-core processor, a GPU with 100 MHz of speed, 16 GB of physical storage, and has the basic 2 GB of memory. These specs alone are a clear indicator that the second FireCube TV can far outperform the older model, but just how well does it do in the support department? Once again, the Cube TV comes with the micro USB port and a separate Ethernet adapter using a separate power source with one HDMI and an infrared port to round out the package. While I'm glad a wired solution is available for the unit, its 100 megabit threshold is a letdown, and the lack of an additional USB-A style port is sorely missed. It goes without saying that the new Cube TV makes light work of any streaming platform you run it from, so the true test really comes down to using some personal media. Using the latest version of Kodi as the initial go-to for the test run reveals the Cube can power through most of the available formats. The DVD ISO can still take time to load, but doesn't seem to require any additional tweaking to run properly. The VC1 codec, which struggles on the Fire 4K stick, ran perfectly at 1080p. While the initial results gave me a great deal of hope, 4K video tests quickly dashed them as the player started to exhibit some strange behavior when trying to run them on an H.265 codec. This may no doubt be attributed to the new hardware just being a few months old, as other apps such as Mr. MC and the VLC player had no issues. Even with that being said, the hardware as a whole seems to buckle at 4K under higher bit rates, as testing out an H.264 video codec with bit rates above 30 megabits per second struggled to run consistently, so running a direct rip of an Ultra HD format may not be feasible, which I must admit is disappointing to say the least. While gaming on the new FireCube TV seems to show a bit of improvement, those improvements are pretty minimal. Going with emulation for the majority of the test, I found that, like the Fire Stick, you can handle up to the 7th generation of gaming, but that of course mainly comes from the handheld offerings of that time. Testing out the PPSSPP, I found that you can certainly max out some of the favorite titles for the system, something you'll especially want to do on a 4K screen, though demanding titles like God of War Ghost of Sparta will not even get you near a playable frame rate without the lowest settings and frame skipping turned on. The Cube does seem to support more systems, as I was at least able to run Dreamcast games and even some from the more demanding Saturn emulator, though both were unable to keep a constant frame rate, especially when dealing with games that ran at 60 frames per second. Ultimately, the FireCube TV is the successor we have, not the one we really wanted. Amazon's reluctance to upgrade to a 64-bit operating system and some obvious support issues when it comes to certain applications makes me wary of recommending this above its lower priced little bro, the Fire Stick, even though this is a definite improvement overall. For just an additional $30, the new NVIDIA Shield or the B-Link GT King Pro seems a lot more favorable in terms of accessibility, and so I think it's safe to say that at this point in time, the new Cube just doesn't feel worth it. Well, that's it for my latest review. If you'd like to see more content for the FireCube TV, by all means let me know and I'll do my best to oblige. For now, this is Decor, your entertainment techie, signing out.